Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? Oxnum Gaming 08 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another LEGO DC Supervillains custom showcase video, which is basically another video in the series where I showcase a custom I made in LEGO DC Supervillains. And today is a bit of a different video from what I usually do in the series, because if you remember in the previous video, we showcased Kopaka, Tower of Ice, our final Tower, and also the final Bionicle custom that I'll be doing. And today, because I actually did that, I felt like I might showcase every one of my Bionicle customs in LEGO DC Supervillains. Yeah, pretty much, assuming as Kopaka will be the final Bionicle custom I ever do. Just to make this the final LEGO Bionicle, just make this final LEGO DC Supervillains Bionicle video on the channel, So if you enjoy, or if you'd like to see more content like this, like the video, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn on all notifications so you can't miss anything new that I upload. I upload gaming content Tuesday to Friday at 3 PM British time, and subscribing is a brilliant way to help me reach 300 subscribers, which I very much appreciate, assuming that is my next sub goal. And in case you don't know, only 10% of you who watch my vids are actually subscribed, so if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. It really means a lot to me. But anyway, let's get into showcasing all of these Bionicle customs, shall we? Alright, so starting off the list, we have Tahu, Tower of Fire. Now, Tahu is, I'd say, the team commander, and his color scheme consists of red and orange with a bit of black, and his weapon is just a big flame sword, pretty much, which he could do basic melee attacks with. Yeah, he could do basic melee attacks with his swords, and just a basic double jump. And let's go on object near quick. And when he attacks someone or something, he'll use a little fire burst to deal some damage. And he can also use a little ring of... And he can also summon a bunch of flames to crack the ground when he does a jump slam. And if you hold down X, he'll do... Yeah, if you hold down X, he'll create a little ring of fire in order to knock back his enemies. Yeah, so hold X equals ring of fire to knock back his enemies. And if you tap B, he will shoot little fire blasts, which pretty much, they're basically just little flame bolts that he uses as ranged attack. And if you hold down B, he will shoot a fire beam. And I think Deathstorm's target record suits the character pretty well. And he doesn't have a lot of current skills, no. He doesn't have a lot of skills other than just acrobat and wall climbing and elimination. They all have acrobat, wall climbing and elimination because they can use their elemental powers to light up dark areas, the Toa can. But yeah, that's basically it for Tahu. Now let's move on to the next guest on the list that we'll be serving in today's menu. Next up, we have Pohatu, Tower of Stone. Now, his colour scheme consists of brown, tan, black, and a bit of orange. His hands are black, and the visor is orange, and the health's orange because they don't have brown health, and the visor's orange because that's what Pohatu Mata's eyes were, pretty much, And he also wears the Konohi mask of... And he also wears the mask of speed. So he basically has enhanced speed, pretty much, But yeah, he could do basic melee attacks, and when he attacks someone or something, he can use a little dirt blast, or a little stone blast, as I should say, to deal some damage, pretty much. If you hold down X, he can use a charge attack, and he can run at supersonic speed in order to destroy stuff. And if you tap B, he can shoot little stones. Yeah, that's what these bolts are meant to resemble. Not bones, bolts, I mean, they kind of do look like bones. But if you tap B, he can shoot down bolts in order to, They're basically to resemble the stone that Pohatu Mata has. And you can also enter Fire Name in order to shoot them, pretty much, And he can also summon Stand to punch it for his ground slam. And if you double tap A, he will do a jump dash where he can damage enemies with a kick while he's flying. Just because I felt like I gave characters with speed that, pretty much, Pretty much. I gave all characters with enhanced speed that, just because they have the ability to run around. And he doesn't have a lot of skills. He has the same ones as Tahu, but he also has smash walls and tracking, pretty much. But yeah, that's basically it for Pohatu. Now let's move on to our next guest. Here we have Onua, the Toa of Earth. Now his colour scheme consists of black, dark stone grey and green. Green because of the eyes. There's nothing special on the A button, but when he attacks objects or a person, he will use a little earth blast to deal damage. And he can also jump slam into the ground in order to cause a crack in it. Yeah, the colour black is a good way for causing cracks in the grounds. And I guess you could say his real hands are actually just claws. He doesn't have any ranged attacks, but if you hold down the X button, he can enter yeah, let's try again. So if you hold down the X button, he can enter destroy mode, which basically gives him the ability to charge and attack enemies. And I also decided to give him detective mode as he wears the mask of night vision as he's in quite a dark area. So I felt like detective mode would be a good way to reference the night vision mask. And if you hold down B, he can stomp on the ground in order to cause a giant earthquake. You may be surprised by this, but it actually deals sonar damage just so that it can shatter glass. And he pretty much has the same skills as Pohatu, except he also has super strength because he's the strongest, and dig because he has claws. But that's it for Onua. Let's move on to the next guest on the list. I'll just have a drink real quick. Now back to the video. Here we have Liwa, Toa of Air. Now his colour scheme consists of green, lime green, black and yellow. Yellow because of the eyes and black because of the little splodge on his chest. Kopaka and Tahu have that as well, remember. We'll get into the abilities later. But he also has a green axe as his weapon, which he can just deal normal damage with. And he can also use a little energy burst when he's attacking objects or enemies in order to inflict damage. And he can also create a little air shield when he does a jump slam as well. Probably to defend himself whilst also dealing damage. Pretty much, yeah, like that. And if you hold down the X button, he can perform a targeted lunge where he floats in the air as he's attacking. Yeah, he basically floats in the air as he's attacking. In case you want to know why he can float whilst doing a lunge, it's because he wears the mask of levitation, and he's in a jungle-like homeworld, so yeah, that's pretty much a good way to reference it. The levitation mask gives him the ability to float but not fly. And if you tap the B button, he can create a little force field, which can give him extra defense from his enemies. And if you hold down B, he can basically do a little explosion attack where he summons the air in order to knock back his enemies, like this. And if you hold down the A button, he can do a hyper jump. And if you double jump and hold the A button, he will actually have the ability to glide. Yeah, so double jump and hold A jump and hold A in order to glide, but just hold A for a full-on hyper jump. I actually gave him that for the jump abilities, probably just because he wears the Mask of Levitation, so he can easily fly around stuff. Yeah, pretty much. And his extra skills include chlorokinesis and telekinesis. Chlorokinesis and telekinesis. Hey, that rhymes. Because he can use the air to move stuff around. I think you might remember that from the G2 Bionicle series. Now let's move on to the next person on this list. Here we have Gali, Toa of Water. Now she is the only female Toa out of the 6, and her colour scheme consists of blue, light blue, and yellow because of the eyes. And she has teal hearts because they don't have blue health. And her weapons, I decided to give her blue gladiuses because they don't have harpoons, and I don't like the other designs that can be used as harpoons. but she can do basic melee attacks with them. And when she attacks someone or something, she could just use a little water burst to inflict damage. And when she does a jump slam, she'll create a little water shield to deal extra damage to her enemies whilst also protecting her. Yeah, like that basically. A little water explosion, I guess you could say. And if you hold down the X button, she will do like a water repulse, where she will create a gigantic water shield, pretty much a more powerful version of the ground slam in order to deal extra damage to her enemies. And if you tap the B button, she will shoot water bolts. And if you hold the B button, she will shoot a water beam from her right hand. I don't know why I decided to put all the beams in the right hand for some reason. I don't really know why.
I keep hearing whispers.
And in case you want to know what her skills are, she has the same skills as Tahu, so nothing special. Other than enhanced swimming, but that's not an option. But that's pretty much it for Gali. Let's move on to our 6th and final character on this list. In case you're wondering what that character is, it is Kopaka, Tower of Ice. Now, his colour scheme consists of white, light grey, black, and light blue. Light blue because of the eyes, and black because of the dot on his chest that him, Liwa, and Tahu have. His weapon, you can either give him a shield and a sword. You can either give him a shield or a sword, because it'll only let you have one or the other, but his weapons are a shield and a sword. And he can just attack with his sword, pretty much, because that's what I gave him. And whenever he approaches enemies or objects and attacks them, he can use a little ice burst in order to deal damage. And whenever he does his ground slam, he'll just shoot a little ring of ice in order to inflict extra damage. But if you hold down the X button, he will do a little ring of ice in order to knock back enemies. And if you tap the B button, he will shoot ice bolts. And he'll shoot an ice beam if you hold down B. And in case you're wondering, he wears the mask of X-ray vision, which is why I gave him technology and X-ray vision as parts of his skills. Yeah, so technology and X-ray vision are his extra skills, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's basically all of my Bionicle customs in LEGO DC Supervillains. So if you enjoyed, like, and if you have not already, subscribe, and I shall see you on the next video. Goodbye, have a great day, have fun, and stay safe. Work hard, even if you feel like you can't. And also comment down below what your favourite Toa in Bionicle is. I'd be very curious to know.